What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this Thursday. Doing well myself. I come across this particular situation right here with the brother Denzel Washington, one of the most iconic actors of black cinema of all times, as far as I'm concerned. You understand? Well, during his career when he was first getting started, he was offered roles that basically would demean his character. Okay, the powers that be of Hollywood, offered him a role to where, as Denzel Washington put it, was basically an unsavory role called like the nigga they couldn't kill. Okay, and but the thing about it is this: look, Hollywood, along with the rest of the powers that be, the government, they're all connected, okay? And they have studied and have come across certain beings, people, of basically the Most High, okay? And when they, when they have, through the occult, that is, when they actually came across our ancient ancestors, just like the devil likes to do, when they find out about something that's greater than them, they like to mock that particular person, just like they did the Hamashiach himself. Okay? So what better way to do it by getting a iconic so-called black actor like Denzel Washington himself. And I don't know if Denzel was ignorant to this or what they were trying to do, but nevertheless, he turned the part down. I don't know if he was ignorant to who or what these reprobates wanted him to play. But without further ado, before I go any further, I just want you guys to hear what Denzel Washington had to say, and then I'm going to show you exactly where I'm coming from and who they wanted Denzel to play. Check this out.
Being on the stage, the amount of training we had, the city party, I was very fortunate. In fact, he came I talked to him before that, but I think it was when he came to Soldier's Play. And he said, "You're good."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and wow. I got a part in a movie in 1986. I called it The Nigga They Couldn't Kill. Oh. Yeah, he was supposed to be, he raped a white woman and they tried to electrocute him, but it didn't work. And he became sort of a cult hero. No, not that one, that was the other awful one. But, and then they tried to hang him and they tried to do all this stuff. And I had a lot of training day in me. And there were some Jewish people in the audition, and I said, yeah. They said, no, it's funny. It's like they hang them and then they can't. I said, yeah, like you bring some Jewish people into a room and they think it's a shower, but it's gas. Oh. And they said, right. I said, right. That ain't funny. So to me, it wasn't funny about putting a rope around my MFing neck either. I made a point. The guy was like, who the hell is this little nigga talking like this? So anyway, make a long story long, I called Sydney and I was sick because he told me to call him. If I said, man, they offered me $600,000 to play the nigga they couldn't kill. And he said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. He said, I'm not going to tell you that, Denzel. He says, but I can tell you this. The first 2 or 3 or 4 films you do in this business will dictate how you're perceived in this business. Mm-hmm. So you make a decision. He didn't tell me what to do, and I give him credit for that. And I turned it down, and 6 months later, I got Cry Freedom and got an Oscar nomination. So it could have gone an entirely, you never know. Mm-hmm. It could have gone, my whole career could have gone an entirely different way. Well, in a different way.
Okay, Ms. Davis?
And all the Jewish people now, just making a point. But I was dead serious about it because they were laughing. Everything. Like, oh no, it's funny. They electrocute him, and then I could just see the poster with me with a rope around my neck. I just had dreams about it. Like,
I have a question.
That wacky guy they tried to kill.
Now you see, the devil is very crafty, and so is his seed, his children, in other words. Anything that has something to do with supernatural, superhuman, they all know where that all comes from. It comes from the Most High Himself. And like I said before, I don't know if Denzel Washington was actually ignorant as to who they wanted him to play. You understand? Or not. He may know now who they wanted him to play, but the main thing is they wanted to mock this person that they wanted Denzel Washington to play. See, the thing is this. It's like I said time and time again. The enemy know more about us and our ancestors, our heritage, and who we come from more than we know about ourselves. A lot of our people don't understand that, and when you tell them that, the first thing, well, they don't know nothing about us. They don't know. Yes, they do too. Remember, we lost our heritage and who we are as a people. The Most High is just waking us up. You understand? For us to come in the light of who we are and who we come from, which is Him Himself. But here's the deal. They actually wanted Denzel Washington to play a man by the name of Simon Toku. Yes, Simon Toku. So without further ado, let's get introduced to Simon Toku and who he was and what he was really all about. Check this out.
Simeon Toko was a black African man born in 1918, and he had superhuman abilities similar to Jesus Christ. He was healing people, and he even summoned cherubim and seraphim angels to help defeat the Belgian army. As crazy as this may sound, this is a true story. We'll get into the other unbelievable superhuman things he did in a bit. The elite powers do not want the world knowing about this man because he was the first of many more Messiah-like figures to emerge. In the 1960s, Simeon Toko said more people like him would come and that the elites wouldn't be able to stop us. It is believed Simeon Toko was the first of the 144,000 described in the Bible. He was healing people and performing supernatural miracles. Some of the superhuman qualities Simeon Toko had was regenerating after attempts on his life, even if he was completely eradicated. One time doctors heard of the rumors of his mystical abilities of being immortal, and they removed his heart surgically to see if it was true. He woke up from the operating table saying, "Why are you persecuting me like this? Give me my heart back," leaving the doctors completely shocked. Simeon Toko was reaching people with his message, and the cabal attempted to silence him for lack of better words. Once they found out he had Jesus-like abilities, but no attempts on his life succeeded, and he just kept coming back. Why couldn't this man be eliminated? A man named Simeon Toko was being compared to Jesus Christ in the 60s because of his godlike abilities to regenerate after being unalived. He could also appear to people in an apparitional state, which means he'd appear to them in his spiritual body. And he stopped a plane in midair just by ordering it to stop. If you're interested in the other videos I made on Simeon Toko, follow me and look at my Simeon Toko playlist, because I made several videos on him and I want to get his story out because it's rather unknown on a grand scale. But anyways, this man is being compared to Jesus, and although that comparison is disrespectful in many people's eyes, he literally is immortal. And although many may be quick to call him the Antichrist, he was a devoted Christian. Let's cover the story of Simeon Toko in more depth. Simeon Toko was born on February 24, 1918 in a northern village in Angola. In 1949, Simeon Toko asked in his public prayer that the Holy Spirit manifest in Africa to put an end to the abuses of the colonial powers. Toko became a dedicated member of the Baptist Church in Otaga. Toko was sent to slavery in an agricultural field in Kakonda in southern Angola, and a hit was placed on him when word spread of this Messiah-like African man. In 1994, Pastor Adelino Kanhandi, who was a cook at the Kakonda agricultural compound, saw what happened to Toko and couldn't believe his eyes. When Kanhandi was cooking, Toko said, "Kanhandi, come here." Toko told him to stand outside and be watchful because Simeon Toko was aware of what was about to happen to himself. Toko looked at Kanhandi and said, "Once again the Son of Man will be tested." One of the Portuguese foremen told Toko to go under the tractor because weeds were clogging it, and when he did, the man turned it on unaliving Toko. Kanhandi stood frozen in fear, not believing what he just witnessed. Then out of nowhere Toko regenerated before Kanhandi's eyes, leaving him completely shocked and making the Portuguese man run away in terror. But why?
Okay, I found something interesting. This guy This guy here is Semon Toko from Africa. And I'm going to play you a little clip, and hopefully you'll be able to hear this about what he's all about.
So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him. And, you know, they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back and he was fine. And you know, so the crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway.
This is David Wilcox.
The story was that this guy, you know, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you know, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow. Many others like me will come. Many others. A Jesus-like figure. That's what we're talking about. That's what's coming. Another confirmation of what's coming. 5D. Looking forward to it.
Now, it says in John 2:19, when Yahushua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. In other words, the Messiah was telling the enemy then, if you kill me, I will regenerate and come back. You understand? And that's exactly the power that Simon Tuchel had when he was here warning the enemy that in these last days, we're coming back. You understand? And see, what Hollywood was doing was actually mocking the Hamashiach. He was actually mocking Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. You understand? That's what they were doing at that time when they asked Denzel Washington to demean himself, you know, to play this character. Now, there's nothing wrong with playing this character. You understand? But it was under the pretenses they wanted him to play it under, is what I'm saying. Like, he had raped a white woman. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, and we tried to get rid of him and we couldn't get rid of him. You understand? No, it wasn't like that. The Hamashiach is not a reprobate. He is not a rapist. He is not a murderer. You understand what I'm saying? But when he comes back, he's going to clean up. See, our people had these kind of powers long before we fell, because when the Most High made us, we wasn't meant to die. It wasn't until we fell into sin, listening to the devil, you understand, that we lost everything. We lost our heritage and who we are as a people and who we come from and what our purpose was. Okay? But now the Most High is waking us back up to show us what our purpose is, and the rest is going to be history when it's all said and done. Okay? So now you know what these demonic low-life reprobates were doing when they wanted Denzel Washington to demean himself, or demean the character Simon Toko. Okay, that's basically what it boils down to. That's all I got on this one, people. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular video right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it in the comment section. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.